Hi everyone, and welcome to this webinar presenting how EON Reality's portfolio of AVR tools can be used in the civil security domain. My name is Morten Venstad, and I'm the Vice President of Security Solutions in EON Reality. I've been working with security, let's say, the last 10 years, and before that I have been working for 10-15 years in the armed forces and in the defense industry as well. So I have a reasonably good background from this domain. To look a little bit about, see how EON Reality has been working with the civil security area. We have mainly been focusing on 4 areas. The training and learning methodology, which means how do you really prepare, plan, execute, and evaluate different sorts of training activities, and what kind of tools that's available in the AR and VR domain to really support these training activities. And all of this has been, this experience has mainly been built up through a number of R&D activities. So we have been using a lot of time and effort in the R&D domain, mainly to better understand how incidents and crises are handled in different European countries, and where the different agencies have their challenges in handling different sorts of crises. So that means that we have been built up a broad competence in that area. And since we also then have been working so long in this area, we are also dealing with security consultancy, like supporting customers in how to establish good organizations within this domain. And our competence has been documented through a number of R&D project documents, a number of white papers. We have also built up our own handbooks by others on training methodology and exercise planning. And we have also been held presentations in different national and international conferences worldwide. And with all this competence, and I'm sure you can follow me in this, there is a lot of challenges. One of them is costs. I mean, we all know that each actor in this in the area do have a lot of work to do, which means that they have not that much time to spend on training, which means that we need to find solutions that minimize the time and resources spent for training. With complexity, we know that collaboration between actors in managing especially unknown complex situations are proven to be insufficient. That has been documented in several research papers. We also know that it's getting more and more complex tasks and more integrated systems, which means that you need even more specific skills training on the individual level. New systems pops up all the time with more and more information embedded in them, which means that you need more time to really be trained to handle these systems. Other challenges is, as far as we have seen, the structure of the training process. When we are talking with different customers or actors, we do see that they are handling the training processes in different ways. It is also risk related to that a lot of the different organizations are not able to train effectively in a number of especially hazardous situations that the employees face. One thing is like on an airport, an airfield, you can't really close down the airfield to train on handling different crises there, which means that that you need to find other solutions to handle these sort of situations and train on these difficult, complex situations. Traditionally, evaluation methods, they are often insufficient, which means that you have you're not able normally to really document all the necessary information from different training activities. Normally there are observers with 2 ears and 2 eyes looking into the situation, and they should really then collect a lot of information, and maybe more than they are even possible to do, which means that you need to use technology to receive and record all the information from different activities so they can be reused for evaluation purposes later on. And the quality that traditional classroom training do not give the relevant hands-on experience. So that really means that you are not able to support the critical thinking, how to solve problems, how to communicate in a good way, both using communication systems or also verbally communication within teams. So that is also the challenges that we do see, and I suppose that you also can link to these different challenges that we do see. What we have done in EON Reality is that we have been looking into how to structure and document a well prepared learning and training process. And this is sort of not a rocket science, it's more like putting putting things into a system. And if you look at this, first of all, you need a training need analysis. The way we see it, a lot of organizations are very skilled in planning and executing training activities or exercises, if you want, but they are not that good in really doing this training need analysis, finding out what kind of competence gap is it between where you are now and what you should, the environment around you really think that you should be on. So there is a lack, at least somewhere, to do a good training need analysis. Doing the planning and executing, as I said, normally people are or organizations are skilled to do. But as I said earlier, the ability to collect necessary information to do good evaluation of the different activities is a challenge. And of course, if you can't do that in a proper way, it's also then difficult to do a good transfer of know-how to others. So what we have done in EON is that we have designed a tool called the Me Tracker that can support you in doing this training need analysis, plan the different training activities that could be in a training process, execute these different activities, evaluate them, and then assure that all the information are stored so they can be used in a reasonably easy way to transfer the know-how. So this is a slightly complex slide, but first of all, the training need analysis defines the status where you are today and what kind of competence level that you should be on. So to fulfill that gap, you probably need to do different sorts of activities. And we have tried to structure these activities, as you can see in this on this slide. First of all, to build up basic competence, you can do that using seminar or workshops. The next step of competence build-up is to use a tabletop exercise. A tabletop exercise is like sitting around a table, discussing through a problem or a challenge, and try to find solutions through discussions. That could be done both on group level and also when you think about the collaboration between different actors. The next step is an input response activity or exercise. That means that you stress the people a little bit more. You sort of give them 5 minutes to solve a problem, and then based on those 5 minutes, you would like to have a specific answers out of them. So it's sort of a factor that really stress the people that are the main training audience, as we call it. Skills training and skills training is could be done on groups and individuals. Skills training is like for a firefighter to take out the fire, or for a paramedic to do triage. That sort of skills training. And the next step is really to not only train the skills, but train the functions, like how to manage a specific situation that you can you can train the team or the individual's roles in these specific functions. And then finally, a major sort of more complex exercise, like we call a collaboration exercise. If you look at each of these different activities, you can see that you can use different sorts of supporting tools. You can use, for example, virtual tools or augmented tools, or you can do these different activities in a live environment. And one of these tools, or most of these tools can be, or most of these activities we think can be handled using the EON's AVR platform, consisting of what we call the EON Creator, virtual trainer, and also AI knowledge injection. And instead of me speaking, I would like to show you a short movie about this AVR platform. So, as you can see, there are several opportunities in using this platform for supporting you in different sort of training activities. Yeah. So, if we look at the methodology, we have, as I said, prepared a meat tracker, which is a methodology tracker, where you can really initiate a training process. You can do the training need analysis. You can plan, execute, and evaluate the different activities. And you can put all these informations into a lessons learned repository. And I'll just briefly go through how this meat tracker is configured. First of all, you define your training process. The next you do is to do this training need analysis, as I said. The TNA consists of, first of all, to analyze and describe the organization's role and responsibility. And it also take care of what kind of experiences you have from the past. And that could be all from earlier training activities, but it could also be from the real situation. And this will then give you sort of a basic starting point for doing your training need analysis. After you've done this, let's say the historical, building up this historical baseline, you do a competence survey. And you can see that in meat tracker we have defined 6 different competence areas. 5 generic competence area and 1 profession specific competence areas. And if you look at this generic competence areas, that has been done through a lot of research together with by others, the Inland University here in Norway of Applied Sciences, and they have defined these areas. Situational awareness, also consisting of common mental models. Organization and management. How do you structure your organization and how is the system looks like? What kind of leadership philosophy do you have and what kind of characteristics do the leadership have? Collaborations. That could be collaboration in a team or between teams. And it could also be with other organizations. Decision making. How do you do decision making? Do you follow specific rules and roles in that perspective, or how is that achieved? Internal and external communication. How do you communicate the decisions that are made? How do you pick up, let's say, information to build up your common operational picture, for example? And finally, this profession-specific competence, which means that for certain organizations, they have certain and specific skills and knowledge that needs to be taken care of. And that is then the 6th area of the competences that we do have defined here. So for each of these competence area, you build up a situation where you describe the today's level, and then you also describe the level of desire that you would like to be on after you have done this training process. After the TNA, you build up your training objectives, which is, of course, also a challenge to build up very good training objectives. That is a challenge always. And the next challenge is really that for each of these training objectives, to get them more easy to verify, we have building up or broken them further down into what we call evaluation points. And then each evaluation points needs to have a number of indicators saying that to get 1 star, you need to have this specific skills, and go up to 5 stars, then you have another sort of specific skills. So that is the way we have broken down from training need analysis, from competence areas through training objectives, and then down to evaluation points. So if you have broken it down in that way, we can use the meat tracker tool to do observations, either using your computer or through a tablet, where you can go in and do new findings on each of the evaluation points defined. For each of these evaluation points, you can write down your comments. You can put in a snapshot from a video or a picture, or you can also just communicate through voice. And the point is that for each of these evaluation points or each of these observations, you can then have the basic or the background documented through video, pictures, or voice, which means that it will be more consistent in the way that you can use this for evaluation purposes later on. And when you have done then a training process or throughout the training process, as I said earlier on, first of all, the first thing you do in the training need analysis is to define the black area here, which is the existing level of competence. The green one is where you would like to be after this training process. And then for each of the training activities that you define, you can then see how far you have achieved these goals that you have built up for each of the training areas or competence areas, sorry. So this is a sort of a learning management system, which gives you the possibility to have a good control of where each of the main training audience or the actors, if you would like, are at this specific time. Yeah. Okay. And of course, if you then have been using this tool for several different training processes, you have a reasonably good lessons learned repository. Because each of it will be stored, each of the training processes will then be stored in this repository. And this information can then be reused when you establish new one. You can use it for statistic reasons, or a lot of people also use this for research purposes. Yeah. So I would like now to give you some more examples about how we in EON Reality have what we have done for different customers and what we have achieved in that perspective. And then thinking about, I will try to point out where in this step-by-step activities that we are working, and if it's in a virtual environment or if it's in an augmented environment or live for that case. One of the things that we've done is that EON has been working together with Singapore Civil Defense to sort of build up scenarios to prepare citizens and emergency workers on how it will feel and how it will be to be a part of different sorts of natural disasters, which of course, or Singapore do have a lot of them. So this is sort of a good way of doing that. And what I've done is to build up these environments, in immersive environments, in what I call an iCube, where you can walk in and you can really feel how it is to be a part of this specific disaster. So here you can build up basic competence, basic know-how through these seminar workshops or showrooms, if you would like. And you can also use that as a background information for doing input response exercises. And now we're talking about in a virtual environment. Within oil and gas, EON has been working a lot together by others, Exxon, to build up this, virtual and immersive environment to train on skills training. I'll just show you a brief presentation here about that.
There's two research projects. The first one is advanced 3D immersive training. The idea is to utilize advances in virtual reality, 3D immersive environments to develop a simulator that could be used to train, operators or young engineers joining the oil and gas industry. This system is great because you could basically train on a specific scenario, do it over and over again in a safe and controlled environment without having to worry that you're going to actually cause an issue in the plant.
Okay, I hope that gives you a brief idea. And here we still are talking about virtual skills training, and we can use this EON AVR platform for both virtual and augmented training activities, and also then training the functions. Yeah. We have been working with Avinor, which is the Norwegian, say, public body responsible for all the airports in Norway and all the air traffic control. And as I said earlier, a challenge is really to train how to handle different incidents at the airport in close to real life, real environment as possible. So then to train in a virtual world is then a possibility. So we really tried that out or built up a simulator together with Avinor to see how we could use this virtual environment for training, both in using it for tabletop exercises, for input response exercises, and also to train functions in how to deal with these certain situations. For example, a firefighter arriving at an airplane in fire. We have been a part of a couple of EU projects. One of them is called Bridge, and Bridge was a big project, $18 million, 18 million euros project with 14 partners from 8 different countries, mainly to build up a decision-making system for handling major crises. And EON Reality Norway's role was then to develop a concept for or build up an integrated training environment where we did go into this holistic training methodology as like the initial thoughts about the meat tracker, and then also looking into different relevant tools that could support this collaborative training. And I'll show you a video about what we really did then. This is from the time when we was crisis training, so that's the reason you have this heading here. So this is then a harbor or industrial area close to Oslo. It's a container harbor and with a lot of fuel shipping as well. And they should train on an unknown explosion in this area. And you can see that this is in a virtual environment, and this is then the people that are communicating using their headsets to communicate the preparation for handling the situation after the explosion has occurred. And here you can see they are sitting in front of their virtual environment and then walking or talking to each other. We built up a team of game masters that could follow the situation, which means that only the main training audience is then training and are in the game. All other people or trucks or cars are then artificial intelligence that will be led by the game master. So we don't really have to have too many people say in the exercise. There you see that the incident command team has arrived to build up a common operation picture and decide what to do to take care of the patients and everything. And you have also then an exercise management team that follows the incident and they will then interfere or interact with them to give them more challenges. And during the exercise, they also freeze the exercise so they can have a during action review to really see what have we done now, have we taken the right decisions, have we been handling this in the right way, and how do we now go on further. This is a good way of building up a learning process for them. Yeah, I think you know the process here. So that has been done, and the system has been built up and tried out with the emergency management organizations in the Oslo region. And as you can see through this project, we have built up a lot of um, tools and scenarios to train both in a tabletop environment, in input response environment, training functions, and also collaboration exercises using virtual tool and also then some live activities. And as you can see, also always the training methodology as the backbone of everything that we're doing. Another EU financed, co-financed project is called Concord. And that is also a fairly big project with 14 actors from also 8 different countries, building up a decision support system for handling major crisis, but then from a medical perspective. And here also EON Reality Norway's role was really to develop this web-based training methodology solution and then also building up a virtual municipality that we could train different sorts of scenarios in. I will come a little bit more back to that. We are also in another still in another EU finance project called CRISIT. And in that project, we are continuously building up the meat tracker solution, and this time prepared for municipalities and NGOs. So it's a little bit easier to handle in that perspective. Our main contributor is the Inland Norway University of Applied Science. We have had a lot of good cooperation with them throughout the last 10 years. And in this project, we have by others built up this meat tracker even further. The Inland University or Inland Norway University of Applied Sciences, they do have a bachelor degree now in crisis management. And this tool is a part of their educational backbone. So they're using this tool as part of their education. And we have also built up this virtual tool even further. We have built up a virtual municipality, 12 times 12 kilometers, or square kilometers. And it's built up to train on different sorts of crises and disasters, like areas like weather and nature catastrophes, fire and explosions, emission and contamination, health and diseases, terror situations, and as well as transport situations. So in this perspective, you can train in a virtual environment, both for input response, training functions, and collaboration exercises. And so far, they are very satisfied with the solutions, and as I said, they are using it as part of their education at the Inland Norway University. And finally, So we are now building up a center for crisis management training with the Inland Norway University. And that means that we will build up an environment where you can train on all these different activities using EON's AVR platform and a couple of other supporting tools to train on all these different activities, like seminar workshops, like tabletop, like input response, skills training, training functions, and also collaboration exercises, and always with the training methodology as the backbone. This center will be up running, at least that's the plan, at the end of this year. And then the EON portfolio tools will be a part of it. So, just to summarize what we have been talking about now, EON Reality is able to provide you with, first of all, a virtual, augmented virtual reality platform focusing on security. And this platform is not only focusing on security, so there is a lot of good knowledge and good technology involved in that can be used in a security setting. We have a lot of extensive knowledge on learning and training methodology, which means that we can build up this in a very structured and organized way. EON Reality do also have a lot of security domain knowledge, which means that we can, together with our customers, build up security training solutions for your specific needs. So, if you have any further questions, you can reach me at this email, morten.venstad@eonreality.com, or telephone +47 for Norway 952 13595. I hope you found this presentation interesting, and please be in touch. Thank you, and bye-bye.